Is your name John Rogers?
Yes.
And you are the son of Mildred Rogers?
Yes.
Would you say you had a good relationship with your mother?
Yes.
Would you say she loved you a lot?
Yeah.
Since the time your mother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's 7 years ago, have you been directly involved in taking care of your mother on a day-to-day basis?
No.
But you say you love your mother.
Yeah.
Did your mom know about your whereabouts for the past 7 years?
No.
Do you have a legitimate reason for being gone for the past 7 years?
Yes.
Was the reason you were gone was because you were caught trafficking drugs from Mexico City to Texoma,
Yes.
and you received 7 years in jail time for that?
Correct.
For those 7 years, you never spoke to your mother, saw her, anything?
I wouldn't say that. I'd say I spoke to her.
You spoke to her over the 7 years
Yes.
while in jail?
Yeah.
But didn't you state here that I sent money to our neighbor and friend Leslie Rayburn, who was mom and dad's lawyer? I asked Leslie to make something up to explain to mom where I was and why I couldn't see her. Leslie told me that Dolly was given some money every month and was told to tell mom that I was doing something secret in a foreign country for the government.
Could you repeat the question?
Hmm.
Could you repeat the question?
Was your mom not under the impression that you were on a secret mission in a foreign country for the government? But you stated that here and here.
Oh, and yeah. Yes.
So your story's changing. Do you believe that Dolly and Tracy neglected your mother?
Yes.
Did you happen to know that Dolly was a registered nurse for years prior, before coming in and living with your mother, taking care of her and sacrificing her whole life so that your mother could be taken care of?
Yes.
Would you say that Leslie sacrificed a lot when she took the time to help out your mother with the will?
Yeah.
Would you say that you're close with Leslie?
Somewhat.
Would you say that you and Leslie both already had pre-reasons not to like Tracy and Dolly?
Reasons as in what?
Would you say that you already had a reason not to like Dolly and Tracy prior to your mother's death?
Prior to my mother's death, yes.
So from the get-go, you have disliked Dolly and Tracy,
Yeah.
but you favor Leslie.
Yeah.
So your mom did not know about your whereabouts for the past 7 years?
No.
And you say your mom, you don't think that she was aware of what she was signing in the will?
No.
Do you happen to think that your mother felt neglected when she did not know about your whereabouts for the past 7 years? Do you ever think that she might have just taken you out of the will because you left your mother stranded while Dolly and Tracy took care of them?
Is that a question?
Yes, it is.
No.
You don't think that your mother would have felt neglected?
No.
Even with her Alzheimer's?
No. Because she knew I was alive because I was sending her money.
But your mother never knew about the money.
She did because she was receiving it.
She never knew. You sent it to Leslie, who gave it to Mildred and Dolly. Or Dolly and Tracy.
Okay.
So you're telling me that for the past 7 years, your mother has not known about your whereabouts, that she would not feel neglected for you being gone that long?
No. My mother knew I loved her.
And you state here that in the past, you and your mother had your fights.
Like any other son.
But would you say that those fights ever made her feel unhappy with your guys' relationship?
No.
And you think the money was spent loosely?
By whom?
Dolly and Tracy.
Yes.
But why would Dolly and Tracy, do you believe Dolly and Tracy would give up everything they had in the past, her job as an RN, to just come live in a house and take care of your mother on a day-to-day basis, do you think that they would actually neglect your mother?
For billions of dollars, yes.
Were you ever actually there in the house to know that Dolly and Tracy knew about this money? Do you have any evidence to prove that Dolly and Tracy know about this?
What?
No. So you have no knowledge, or you're not sure for sure if Dolly and Tracy knew that there were millions of dollars underneath the ground.
I believe they did.
You believe, but you don't know.
For a fact, no.
You don't know for a fact. So you're willing to come to the prosecutor's side and accuse Dolly and Tracy of killing and plotting to kill Mildred
Yes.
based off your belief.
Yes.
And for the past 7 years, you were never in the whole situation. You were never there. You had no knowledge of what was going on.
No, that's what I'm saying.
So how can you be a valid person, a valid witness, when you were never there for 7 years and you neglected your mother?
Objection. Leave the witness, Your Honor.
Objection sustained. You are repeating yourself.
So you don't believe that your mom felt neglected?
No.
Like to re-examine the witness, but may I personally to this witness. So John, it's true that you weren't there for your mother for 7 years, yeah?
Correct.
Doesn't mean that you didn't hear things about what they were doing, right? You heard around town?
Right.
Yeah. So what did you hear about Dolly and Tracy?
Well, I heard they, first of all, they take care of her very well. You know, they spend money with, so use on personal things. But I also heard very factual that they were allowing her to eat candy and eat cake and eat other things that would, in fact, you know, challenge whether or not she would be able to survive with the diabetics and stuff. Well, full knowing that she had them.
So being a diabetic is bad to eat candy and cake and stuff like that, yeah? Especially considering she had Alzheimer's, she might not remember that she was diabetic.
Yeah, and I think they took advantage of that.
What kind of car did Tracy and Dolly drive?
A sports car.
Now, did either Tracy or Dolly work?
No.
No, they didn't work. So where are they getting money?
Well, that's not unknown. That's an unknown fact right there.
Very interesting. Either of them work, not doing anything. The only income that they're getting at all is that $2,000 a month that you're giving to Mildred, right?
Correct. For Mildred's well-being.
Yeah, for well-being. So you think that maybe there's any chance that they were using it on things other than Mildred?
Yeah.
So they're using Mildred's money for their own purposes. Would you say that's neglectful to Mildred?
Yes.
Using her money for other purposes. We have no more questions for this witness.
Would the defense like to recross?
Yes. May I approach the witness? Earlier you said that they were spending it on their personal needs, correct?
Correct.
Now, were Tracy and Dolly the only ones who used the car?
Yes.
So Mildred never was in the car to go anywhere,
She never drove it.
but she rode in the car.
Yes.
So she used the car.
On occasion.
So would it be safe to say that although the money was being used for these needs, that they were also helping Mildred? So it didn't help Mildred that she got to use the car to run errands and do things around town.
Mostly with errands they ran for her. Or they did, assume.
But you said that she was riding in the car. So it's safe to say the car was beneficial to Mildred. No more questions.
Would the prosecution like to redirect? We'd like to re-examine the witness. May I first witness?
Now, based on your statement, you said Mildred always attended church services and and would always go to church on a regular basis?
Correct. She was very Christian.
Okay. And after she began to be in the care of the defendants, did she continue those activities?
No, they refused to take her.
So the so-called benefit the car had for her when she would never ride in it, it's unfounded that she got any benefit from the car?
I doubt.
So she wasn't being taken to church services. She wasn't being taken outside the house, to your knowledge. So to further say that the money was not being spent in a way that would benefit Mildred would be correct.
Yeah, I think they spent the sports car on themselves so they could have a sports car.
And they
not
shared
to
the
take
car.
care of her. It's not like they bought an accessible van for disabled people, they bought a sports car.
Number question.
Would the defense like to recross?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, may I approach the witness? John,
Yes.
so you are saying she attended church often, correct?
Before their care or
Before
after?
their care.
Correct.
Do you think having a broken hip and Alzheimer's and diabetes, it was in the best interest, considering Tracy and Dolly knew her condition, they wouldn't take her to church because they knew it was a struggle?
I believe there's ways that you can get someone to church. Obviously, religion is an important thing to people.
Okay, but I'm asking, do you think it would, they thought in their best interest, for her, they didn't take her to church because she had a broken hip and it was hard for her to get around?
No, I don't think that's why they didn't take her.
So are you blindly accusing my clients for not taking her to church because they had no excuse or no interest in Mildred for her best health condition to now go out in public?
I think the word for that is neglect.
So you're saying my clients neglected her even though they sacrificed 7 years of their life?
Witness, Your Honor.
Objection sustained. John, you must answer the questions with yes or no.
Do you think that Mildred had other ways to practice her faith besides going to church? So you're saying my clients couldn't have had Bible study in the house that no one knew of? So if you're hearing things, how would they have known if no one was allowed in the house?
Repeat the question.
How would they have known what was going on inside the house if Dolly and Tracy never let anyone in the house?
Objection. It's not a yes or no question.
Yeah, it is.
How would you know?
How would you know? You would have to answer with a.
Do you know why people would say anything if they could not go inside the house? So you're saying people are accusing my clients for things that they don't know about that are occurring inside the house?
Objection, this is hearsay, it has nothing to do with the question.
You may only ask him questions about his own five senses, so objection is sustained.
Would you say that all these accusations are blindly based?
No.
Your Honor, I'm done.
Does the prosecution like to redirect?
No, Your Honor.
No further questions? Would the prosecution like to call this? Oh, John, you may step down. Prosecution like to call their second